Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down.
Welcome to Let's Talk with Carl Lee and frequent guest hosts Hollis Lewis and Lisa Otey, where sports, culture, and community intersect. Join the crew as they dive into engaging conversations with guests from all walks of the sports life. Let's Talk is proudly presented by attorney Frank Walker. Real talk, real experience, real results. FrankWalkerLaw.com, and by the all-new historic Quoyer Diner in downtown Charleston, online at QuoyerDiner.com. Let the conversation begin on Let's Talk.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Lee with Let's Talk, and I have my co-host in the building, Hollis Lewis.
Hello, hello.
And I have Miss Otey in here, and we're going to have some problems today.
Really? We're going to preface this podcast
I just want to let everybody know that this is not going to be a really friendly show between me and her. Her Packers beat the Vikings, so she's likely not to make it another show.
Well, I hear that every week. So just they have a stack of pink slips. I just grab one every Monday night. It's not a big deal at all.
All right, you have a guest for us today.
I do have a guest. So our guest tonight is an award-winning broadcaster for documentaries and primetime shows, and has been in radio and television broadcasting for over 25 years. He graduated from Texas Tech. Watch out, WVU fans, in May 2004. And he can now be found weekday mornings on WOWK-TV as the morning meteorologist, and he's done that since 2012. So we are very happy, and I'm honored to introduce Brian Hughes to the podcast. Welcome, Brian.
Oh, it's so good to be here. I'm excited.
You.
I feel like I'm in hostile territory. That's why I wore a Marshall shirt.
There you go.
Neutrality.
That was a good idea, actually.
Oh, but let me tell you something. I'm going to be representing the red and black this coming weekend.
That's okay. We understand. You got to represent your alma mater, right?
That's right.
You don't have to.
Hey, you don't have to, but guess what? This year, $23 million. You're damn right. $7 million defensive line.
I can't argue that one.
Right.
So I'll start with the first question, Brian. So your TV weather career began in Lubbock, Texas, and continued to Iowa, Michigan, and then finally you landed in West Virginia. What made you decide to call Almost Heaven your home?
Well, I had an agent, and I fired him after I got here. So
that's not good.
Honest to God truth, I did fire him, but it is the classic story of anybody who doesn't know which Charleston they're talking about. And so he told me, he said, I think you're going to love Charleston. And by the way, sorry, my voice has been a little rough this week. He said, I think you're going to love Charleston. I said, I know I'm going to love it. I'd already picked my apartment, where I was going to live, the haunted yards and everything else. And I'd done the research on the market. And so he called me. I was going to have a Skype interview, by the way. So this was 2012. Yeah, 2012-ish. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 2012.
So he said, you're going to have a Skype interview. I think you're going to nail it. He goes, so you already picked out your place? I said, yeah, it's right by the water. It's awesome. He said, I think you're going to be a great match for West Virginia. And I went, huh? What? What? And he was like, yeah, hey, Charleston, you're going to love Charleston, West Virginia. I said, I thought I was going to South Carolina. I kid you not.
That's
and
classic.
You already had a place.
Oh, yeah. I picked it out. Ray signed the line as soon as they said, we want to hire you. Oh. I check with the apartment place. It was beautiful. But so I came down here, and my first meal was over there in Huntington at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. And so of all people that I see there, Mike Kurtner, who is the voice for the progress announcer for men's basketball, has been for 30 plus years.
Right.
And owns the radio stations over there, Metro News affiliate. So I literally met him that day, and he and I have been great friends ever since.
Wow.
So I immediately met by happenstance with one of the guys who's most connected there. in Huntington in regards to martial sports. So it was awesome.
You definitely can wear that M on your shirt proudly.
I can.
Since you've got that history. So
I can.
We'll allow it.
Yeah.
Carl, will you allow
I
it?
appreciate it.
See, but yeah, that was actually how it all worked out. And I did fire my Asian. He had not happy with him. But it wasn't because he brought me to West Virginia.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So what has been like, and not saying that there has to be a challenge, but what do you think is the real challenge in doing that type of work? If there's people out there or a person out there who would be interested in doing that, because I did it a little bit, and it didn't really work out for me. Maybe not by my choice, but maybe by the other folks' choice. But because I haven't done it, I think it's interesting because I think people just think it's like just talking.
Well, it is. I mean, first of all, I've always said I've hired a number of anybody who's been in radio. I'll hire in a heartbeat because they have the gift of gab. They can fill the gap. They can talk about. They may be an idiot, but they can fill that gap because and they can do it quite well. Because if you can talk around the subject, you're fine. But I've hired more. I won't hire a person who is out of college who has a great, book smarts. It doesn't work. They can't communicate with people. But anybody who can talk, who can sit there and tell me about their grandparents, their family, whatever else, and fill time to where I'm like, you got to shut up at this point. Those are the people.
That's your people.
Yeah, because these
are my people.
I need somebody who can make me believe
right
that it's going to rain tomorrow, and I need somebody who can talk.
Sure.
And as long as they can do that, they're good. But yet, there's still, there's that. But you also have to, somebody's got to be able to at least talk about the weather. You got to know it. You got to understand it.
Sure.
To some degree. But I said I was working in Lubbock, Texas, and I had this gal, my general manager goes, she's going to be the next weather gal for Telemundo, and I said, so what experience does she have? She didn't have any. I think you're going to make her fine.
Telemundo, right?
Yeah. It was not a good day when I tried to make her fill the gap. Just she did with a minute and a half, and boy, we had 3 minutes to fill. But just so you know,
sometimes, yeah. If you can talk, you're good with you, right?
Yeah. I was in Cancun just a couple months ago, and I just looked at the people and went, tormentas aislados, and they were like, whoa! The Mexican folks were thrilled. I knew thunderstorms.
Right.
Now,
wow.
Now, Alicia mentioned that you're from Texas. You went to Texas Tech.
Yep.
WVU is playing Texas Tech this week. Now, one thing that people may not know about you is that you were the mascot for Texas Tech during your collegiate days. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about how did you become the Red Raider?
Well, there's actually a line of succession to get into being Raider Red. My mother.
Now the name is Raider Red.
Raider Red, yeah.
Okay, that's
so there are two mascots technically for Texas Tech. There's the cartoon version, which is Raider Red, the one you see on the sidelines. And then there's the one that is that you can't take this one on the road except for bowl games or national championship, which we might be on. Who knows?
Oh boy! Here we go. Confidence.
Hey,
Confidence.
Listen, hey, you gotta own it when you pay this much. So you have the Masked Rider, and the Masked Rider rides the black horse.
Yeah,
and so that one pretty much stays at home. Except for bowl games. But Raider Red is a cartoon mascot, so you could travel all across the country. I was in line to be Raider Red. My mother was a cheerleading coach. I could do a standing back, just backflip in a heartbeat. But let me tell you, I learned a hard way about that. It gets a little rough sometimes. But I knew that I wanted to be that so bad. I've been at Texas Tech games as a kid, it was all that stuff. And then when I had the opportunity, because there's the Mill Spirit Organization, which there's a number of, you got the Roughnecks up there to OU and stuff. You got the cadets down at A&M, which are a bunch of wusses, but the reason they left the Big 12 was because we were about to surpass them in wins. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, that happens. But I wanted to be Raider Red so bad, and I got the opportunity.
That's awesome.
And it actually happened at the Independence Bowl. The guy who was doing the mascot of Raider Red at the time was worn out. He's a big old fella. He was worn out. And my best friend and I, who were in line, I was next in line. He goes, "It's your turn. You got to take over for him." And so at the half, we switched out.
Oh, wow.
And then I became Raider Red and was Raider Red then for almost a year. And I did occasional appearances later on, but I had a solid year there.
So is there like a competition? So let's say if I'm that this year.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you show up next year and you want to try out. Is there like a tryout that you have to, or do I just stay?
No, it's sort of whoever's Raider Red at the time sort of picks who's going to be that, because they just.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of it's kind of weird. It's like a premonition. Like that's going to be the guy. He's the guy. He's got, because listen. You have a walk like Raider Red. You have a talk like you don't talk, but you have a talk that
Yeah.
The mannerism.
Yeah. I wish the camera worked in the studio right now.
I wish you could see, because
the video would be awesome.
You are larger than life, and that you have to live things much larger than life. You step high steps, the way you sign your name, the way you sign Raider Red.
So just to compare, give our audience a comparison, like the Mountaineers, a big deal here in the state of West Virginia.
Yes.
So is it comparable to that? Would you say it's the same level of prestige?
No one knows the identity of Raider Red until Raider Red retires. And but I had a very...
So it's secret.
Sort of. I had a very complicating issue because I was the voice of Texas Tech for baseball at the time.
Oh.
And I was on TV doing the weekend weather at the NBC station. So
you were busy.
So everybody, in the Texas Tech administration, they all knew who I was.
Right.
But I didn't say anything on TV ever, or radio, as I was working as well. But
part of the protocol is you can't speak as a mascot anyway, right? You're not supposed to, right?
But it just so happens that I would do the 6 o'clock news doing the weather. And as soon as I got done with the full forecast, which is about middle of the show, I would go right back into the office and then strip and put on my waist below Raider Red. And I walk out on set, and I would do the news. I would finish the end of the show and go, 7-day forecast looks like this. Going to have some sunshine tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as that show was over, literally the light goes off. I run out the door, get in my truck, and go straight to the arena so that right before 7 o'clock, I can be Raider Red on the court. So believe me, it was crazy.
But it was fun. It sounds like it was fun. So you just alluded to the fact that you were the former public dress announcers for their basketball and baseball teams, right?
Yes.
So that requires a depth of knowledge of both sports to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Where did you get a lot of your foundational understanding of those different sports?
My dad has been the white hat for years in football, so he is absolutely. I've learned more from him than anything.
And what's a white hat for those who don't know?
He is the referee. He is in charge on the field the entire time. He's
at what level?
He's wearing the microphone. Big 12, Conference USA, WAC, Big Sky.
That's huge.
Yeah, anything Big 12 West, which but by the way, old school Big 12 West.
Yeah.
So middle of the country, off to the west. And more than anything, what I learned was neutrality. I mean, you sit there, watch, and I have a hard time cheering at games because I see things. I'm so ingrained with seeing the middle of the road. You don't get emotional for this, you don't get emotional for that. So I knew all that. But I became public. My voice doesn't sound like it today, but I became the public address announcer because I knew the game, I knew the rules. and I could immediately interpret what happened. My friends freak out when we're watching football together because I'm like, I told him right there, and I don't do it like it. I told him on the other chain. It's. For me, it's just there's a call.
With your announcer voice.
Yeah.
and it's funny because, like, just listening to you come from a very sports background, but it's almost a little bit indirect. Oftentimes we get guests who, play the game, but your mom was a cheerleading coach. Your father was a referee. You've done the announcing.
Yeah.
So you come from this sort of this outwardly sports inwardly type of environment.
The football coach at my high school wanted me to kick. Because it is crazy. Wanted me to kick because he saw me in show choir, and I could do a high kick like nobody's business. He was stupid.
Wow.
And he wanted me to kick. I went out and kicked a couple of times, just practice stuff, and I was decent. I won't say I was good because I literally have nothing compared to. But my mother wouldn't let me play football because she did not want me to get hurt. Blah blah blah. So I was beholden to whatever she was saying, but yet I could still be up in the booth. Call game.
Still part of it.
I could interpret so much of it. But my uncle, state championship wrestling coach. So I literally have just been in the sports world, but haven't played it. So
wow.
But all that depth of knowledge of all the different sports allowed me to be Raider Red and be good at Raider Red.
You're the best Raider Red ever.
Hey, you're damn right.
But I think it makes a difference because when you understand the sports and you are, that mascot, you understand kind of when to get the crowd hype. You understand the nuances of what's going on.
I know what their hype train needs to go. Yeah. I know what I need to do here, know what I need to do there.
Yeah.
And to maximize my efforts, I knew, listen, every time that, we get to 16, 12, 8 or 16, 12, 8 and 2 or 8 and 4, timeout on the floor, and immediately, guess what? It's TV timeout. Let's go.
Yeah,
I say it every time. We in an arena. It's 16 pass. Okay, next dead ball foul stoppage, whatever. There's a timeout on the floor.
I bet you're a hoot at the Super Bowl party.
Yeah. Oh, I hate Super Bowl.
I'm like Hollis because what's so, I don't know if it's surprising, amazing, or what it is. Like, if I were to think about doing any parts of that, of the role in which you played, in the number of roles that you've played, I would think like it would take a lot of work, understanding of what's going on, and it seems like you just kind of fell into it and blended it into who you are, who you were, and what you could do.
I literally stumbled in the best job of my life, and that was being the mascot at Texas Tech. But unfortunately, I was not the mascot during this big run that we're about to make into the college football playoffs.
I was just going there. Just going there. So you attend a lot of, when you can, a lot of the Texas Tech athletic events, right? You're kind of an ambassador for them.
If Texas Tech is playing in West Virginia or anywhere close,
you're there. You're there. So you do plan on going to Morgantown Saturday.
I have some great seats.
I bet you do.
A hotel rate that you would cry if you knew what the price was.
Well, oh my gosh, I need your connections then for sure.
$109 for the night. It's fine.
Wow. No, I need your connections the next time I go to Morgantown. But anyway, so you've been all these places besides being in Lubbock, and then the places you've attended outside of that place. So how do you compare the venue in Morgantown to some of the other places you've gone to see your team play?
Listen, I've done the Big House. I've been in Iowa. I'm going to tell you something. You better have a liver and a half if you're going to go to Iowa.
Wow.
Those Hawkeyes.
Really?
Those Hawkeyes know how to.
I thought you would say Morgantown.
No. Those Hawkeyes know how to drink.
Wow.
They don't drink, they drink.
They drink.
Yeah. I can tell you this, in Morgantown, you also have to have a solid liver, but you also have to be mindful of your back.
Yeah.
But that's just the opponent, Yeah. Whereas, listen, we're going to tailgate. Have a blue lot pass, thankfully.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's at, but it
doesn't matter. Blue lot's blue lot. Yeah.
It's all good.
You're good.
But now, you know what? I'll say this. I I was up there a few years ago, 6 years ago, and I was on a knee scooter because I've had a number of surgeries on my foot. Part of that mascot involved, but I was rolling down the hill one time.
You were rolling down the hill.
Yeah,
that's a great idea. Yeah, recovering from surgery.
Well, there was a beer in hand, and I
was going to say there might be some alcohol involved there, but I don't know.
But a friend of mine, Matty, he knows who he is. He was hammered. He was hammered 3 ways from Sunday.
Oh my God!
I looked at him. I was like, "Are you got to get up or not?" And he was like, "Hey!" And this one woman who was inside the fence. She looked at him and goes, "If you boys can get him up here, we'll let him in." And it was a Herculean effort on a knee scooter. But I take that as one of my monumental moments as a fan.
One of your biggest accomplishments.
Yeah, and also a lover of everything West Virginia collectively.
Yeah, you are.
Because
you're a fan.
I've had so much fun living here. And here's the deal. I've lived in West Virginia this next month. It'll be 14 years.
Nice.
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Like, you grew up essentially in college sports.
Yes.
That was your basically growing up till now.
I've traveled let me tell you this. I've traveled so many places in the country
to
watch college sports. To watch college sports. And I say watch that. My dad literally would take me and he would have me doing a job, and it was marking fouls and stuff like that. I was on the sidelines for football constantly. Here I was a skinny little freaking kid, and I'm standing next to head coaches, and I'm marking fouls constantly, and we're going up and down the sidelines. And of course, then you don't have to. I don't have to maintain the sidelines where the hash marks are for
You're just going up.
Yeah, I just go wherever.
So let me ask you this: like, what is your point of view or perspective on the change in college sports? Like, we see it now. We talk transfer, NIL, all that stuff. Coaches moving. We see what's going on with Lane Kiffin right now. So, what's your perspective on like the state of college sports?
It's twofold. First of all, Texas Tech, we're doing awesome with oil money. Buy gas, we love you. But I also look back at when the players were the institution and the college degree was the best part about it all. By God, you got educated, you walked out. You might suck as a player, or you might be just good enough. You did one good thing, and by God, the coach loves you because you did that one good thing. But you walked out of there with a degree, and you knew you could succeed in life because you had that piece of paper. And for me, it's kind of like Nick Saban said the other day. He goes, we need to concentrate on the player. We need to make sure that the player is taken care of. And I still believe that. I would hope that it's kind of like Lane Kiffin's he's going to take, if he's going to LSU, he's taking that team with him.
Yeah,
he's great with.
But isn't that like sort of just the fallacy of it all?
Right.
Like, because the thing is, not only, and you're right, because I didn't even think about that point. Not only will he essentially take that whole entire team with him, but they're about to make the playoffs currently now.
Right.
And it's like, and you have all these distractions, so it's impossible to not only concentrate on what you're doing, but again, they could literally be starting over next year and
possibly play for a championship.
Possibly play for a championship this year. But that's kind of on the road now because of what's going on.
And that's what's so upsetting. That's where I think we all collectively agree. We gotta have, first of all, somebody's got to have the cojones to step up and say, here's the guardrails.
Yeah, we need rules.
We need rules. And that's the problem. And I say this, I can say this as a guy on TV, a guy who's been a mascot and has family that literally gets paid for sport. We got to have some guardrails, and somebody got to step up and say, here's where it starts, here's where it stops. And more than anything, we know the portal is awesome, and it's also the worst thing in the world.
100%.
We've got to say, okay, here's where the transfer portal opens after the national championship.
Yeah,
that's what I said last year.
And you've got this time period, and it needs to be like the NFL, where you can't talk to a player or a coach, and there's that. And so, I in that regard, for me, and it's just from a former mascot who happens to be on TV a little bit. Hey, that's where things have to start and stop. You have to have the rules, and you've got to get as close to the NFL as you possibly can, because now we know, like I said, Texas Tech has a $7 million defensive line. Think about that.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's criminal. But Jacob Rodriguez should be the Heisman winner.
Wow. So
Yeah, you know.
no bias there
No,
at all.
no.
So what's your prediction for the game this Saturday? Do you think it'll be a close game with Rich Rod's team, or what do you think?
I really think the first half is going to be quite challenging because, first of all, it's going to be cold.
The travel, you got to take that into
Texas Tech has not played in the cold. Right. With this team has not played in the cold. So we're going to have temperatures. When we start game time, we have temperatures are going to be in the 30s.
Yeah.
We're just going to get up.
In the wind.
Yeah. And so by the time the game ends, we're going to make it to 40, 42, maybe 45 at best. We're going to start in 30s. Texas Tech has not played in that. WU has not played in that either.
Yeah.
But WU is a little more hardened to it. And listen, WU has nothing to lose. At all.
Yeah,
not a damn thing.
Right.
They've been playing pretty good these last couple weeks.
No, they absolutely haven't. And
they pulled up some upsets this year.
Listen,
too,
I would Pat McAfee. They're awesome. They're going to upset the world. But I really do think. I think first half is going to be the biggest challenge. But you've seen the way the defense plays. I mean, it's stupid. I mean, we were always on the air raid offense. By the way, I've gotten drunk with Mike Leach so many times. It's crazy. He's getting drunk with the pirate. It's awesome.
R.P. Mike Leach. He's awesome. I miss Mike. He was good for college football.
He really was.
Great for college football.
Transformational for college football.
Yeah.
Good soundbite.
Yeah, him and Bummy. I mean, you really look at what they did. They had a huge impact on the NFL as well. but God, Mike Leach, I could tell a ton of stories. But more than anything, Texas Tech always had the air raid offense, and now it's our defense.
Defense, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's wild to think.
But whatever takes you there,
listen,
whatever works.
I've said I never thought in a million years I'd ever be talking about national championship, and yet here for basketball we had Chris Beard, whatever that kind of was.
I think the field's level. That's what the transport. That's the good thing about the transport. It levels the playing field.
It did.
To that point, Hollis, I challenge that a little bit. Just because if I take you and you're my quarterback and you leave, there's no real true guarantee. Because if you're my starter, then apparently, clearly, you are the best guy.
But I think what it does is that Alabama can't have a third-string quarterback that's going to get drafted or a third-string running back that's going to get drafted now. We got to understand, Alabama had kids that were sitting for 4 years and waiting until their senior year to play. Now that kid is going somewhere else, so the talent distribution is more level.
I think that, and again, I think that is true and great for the player.
It gives that kid the opportunity to shine.
Yes, I agree with that. But the one thing, though, is you as the athlete, you have to pick somewhere where you're going to go that you're going to play. If I'd have picked anywhere else other than Marshall, chances are I wouldn't have played. If I wanted to say, I went to Penn State.
But after your first 2 years when you were getting all conference and you were leading the team in tackle, then you probably would have went to Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, because they say, I have a proven commodity in Carl Lee. He's not a high school kid. Now he can go start for us. So it's a little bit different now, I think.
But I think that they're – back then, and I think you're going to agree with me, is there would have been loyalty.
That's true.
There,
yeah, that's true.
There's also
you did not think
you would be penalized too. You'd have to sit out.
Well, I'm just saying.
I understand.
We're saying if all things were equal,
all things equal, yes.
Because they're not because you're a proven commodity. Now, again, just to get on my soapbox, the one thing I don't like, again, WU playing Texas Tech this weekend. The one thing I hate that's happening now is that we're losing the tradition of college football. Because remember, Thanksgiving was rivalry week. So WV was playing Pitt, Washington State playing Washington, Notre Dame playing USC, Texas Tech, Texas A&M.
Oh, we hate Texas A&M.
So that's what I'm saying. So I think this week it's kind of like blah. I mean, there's some okay games, but it's like
not
the rivalry games aren't
not
what they were. You know what I mean?
And you can see,
like you think about
and you can see it. You can watch it on television and see the pressure of what that looks like.
Yeah,
and Georgia Tech could spoil it all.
Because you got to understand, like this week and then the next couple weeks. So you had rivalry week, then the bowl game. You had the championship week, then bowl game. So you would have had like 2.5 good months of just very competitive, high level football with the NFL playoffs. So now we don't really necessarily have that because bowl games don't mean anything no more.
I agree.
Yeah. And you think about it. This is the I don't know what year anniversary of when Rich Rod had his team play Pitt. Yeah. It was Thanksgiving weekend. Remember, they could have gone to the national championship and they lost that game.
And
so
Pat freely admitted last week that he screwed that up. But as he said, if it was today, we'd all go with him.
Yeah.
Back then, nobody could.
Yeah.
You were there.
I know. It's a good point.
Because Marshall went through that last year.
I know.
They lost
Holy
everybody.
smoke. I mean, everybody was like, woo, let's go south. Wow. But then, I got to say, about Marshall, it was awesome how they stood up this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
Good point.
It was
good point.
Yeah,
amazing.
they could be bowl eligible, and that's just a tribute
that's really good.
That's a tribute to Coach Gibby for sure. So I know you've got to go home and get your beauty rest, Brian. So I have a little clip that our producer Jeff's going to play. I was just kind of going through your reels, and since we've got a special day coming up on Thursday, we're going to give Brian this flashback. So Jeff, could you play this, please?
Stovetop stuffers.
Yes.
And let me tell you something. These things,
he's
wearing them. Comfortable. Yeah.
They are actually very, very cozy.
They are so cozy and comfortable. I mean, this is they're kind of like
pants,
leggings,
jogging pants or something.
Jogging pants. Is that what you call them? Look at the print.
I know.
The print has stuffing.
Oh.
Yes. And then if you roll them down like this,
pants.
it says the stuff Thanksgiving is made of. Get your stovetop.
That's right on time.
With stuffing.
We have to hear about the Thanksgiving dinner pants before you walk out of the studio. Please, Brian.
So they were the stovetop stuffing pants.
Nice. I love stovetop stuffing too.
And I'll tell you something about that. This is podcast, correct? It's not broadcast.
It is a podcast.
Okay.
But it's on the radio though.
Yeah, be careful.
Does it air on the radio?
Yes. FCC.
Okay. Yeah. So now I know where my guardrails are.
Jeff's like, oh boy, back there. Oh boy.
So here's the deal. They were essentially stovetop stuffing about 10 years ago.
If you could just see those two, that they were pretty.
I'm not really trying to see those.
Pretty.
You know, when a lady is pregnant,
I'm not even handling this conversation. I'm not.
Yeah, they have the extra.
The stuffing part goes up over your stomach.
I'm not even watching. I'm not even listening to this part of it.
Just so happens, and I didn't realize it at the time, there's a stovetop stuffing pants accentuate some things. And on TV, oh my Jesus. I said later, I went, oh, I'm impressive.
This will never make air.
But good radio right here.
Jeff's shaking his head. Oh, yeah.
But oh my gosh, I was just demonstrating the Thanksgiving pants and didn't realize I was really demonstrating.
I hope you retired those, right? Are they retired?
Yeah, they are retired. But they've been eliminated from the wardrobe. They don't exist anymore.
Oh gosh. Well, Brian, we want to thank you so much for coming in the studio
awesome.
with
Thanks,
us.
Brian.
It's so fun.
We appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, same to you guys. And I'll say this, and I say this with respect, because I always cheer for WVU Marshall, unless they're playing Texas Tech. So
there you go.
Guns
there
up.
you go.
Guns up.
We'll take that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
All right, cats and kittens, have you heard? The Warrior Diner is back. Step into the classic vibe of one of Charleston's most historic restaurants. Don't miss the daily Blue Plate specials. Breakfast served all day, every day, and free parking. With an outdoor patio covered for the summer, an elegant basement bar, and customizable event space, 1022 Warrior Street offers an experience unlike any other. Open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Visit warriordiner.com for all the need to know and relive the good times at the Warrior Diner.
Let's face it, bad things happen to good people. Seriously injured in a car accident, trucking accident, or even wrongfully arrested. Life happens, and when it happens to you, you will need sound legal advice and aggressive representation. That's when you call attorney Frank Walker at 304-413-0179. That's 304-413-0179. Lock it in your phone, text it to a friend. 304-413-0179. Or visit online at attorneyfrankwalker.com.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is presented by attorney Frank Walker and the all-new historic Quarrier Diner. Come in on episodes, ask the crew questions, or suggest topics on our Facebook page. Search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee and remember to like the page to become part of the conversation. Subscribe by searching Let's Talk with Carl Lee on your favorite podcast service and tune in Thursday evenings at 7 or Sunday nights at 8 for Let's Talk with Carl Lee. This is Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Now back to the conversation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. That was a very intense and fun. Yeah, well, I can't.
You never know what to expect when Brian is around.
I was going to say,
I love him.
I can't come back on and not say that he was probably the most enthusiastic guest that we may have had.
He is a total Red Raiders fan for sure. He'll be fun in Morgantown.
That's for sure. Mm-hmm. Hollis, I think you got a discussion that you want.
We talked about Shedeur Sanders last week. He got in the game last week. Didn't have a great showing, but he was kind of plug and play. This week, he got a full week of reps, practice, preparation. They come out. Browns defeat the Raiders 24-10. Shedeur had a pretty decent game. He was 11 for 20, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Solid first showing. This is the first Browns quarterback to win their first start in about out of 19 starts, something like that. I don't want to say 19 years, but out of 19 different Brown quarterbacks starting, I believe he's the first one to win his first start. And again, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the defense. The defense had about 10 sacks. They were all over Geno Smith. So again, so what did we learn, if anything, about his performance and how he showed up?
I don't know if I want to go first or I want to have Lisa.
Well, I mean, he kind of like showed some. They played the Raiders, right? Didn't they play the Las Vegas Raiders? That was 2 of their offensive coaches, I think, were dismissed today. Wasn't it 2 offensive coordinators?
Chip Kelly.
And I forget
Most
one of
notable.
his. Chip Kelly, and then Bob Bicknell, I think is his name. Okay. But anyway, that's not the defensive side. I think I was quite surprised when I saw the stats and heard how well he did in the game. Yeah. I saw a clip of Dion in the box watching his son, and he was just beaming, from ear to ear when he threw a touchdown pass, his first one in the his NFL career. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy for him. I'm glad that he's kind of shown the doubters that, he does deserve this space as a starting quarterback for the Browns at this point in the season. And, I would be amiss if the Browns decided not to start him the rest of the season, even after the quarterback comes out of protocol.
I think they already said he's going to be the starter next week.
Yes.
They play the 49ers.
Okay.
All right. So I'm a little more skeptical of where he may go and how, and I'm not really like hating on him or hating on Dion because he's Dion's son. I don't know yet if he's going to be in that game. That's going to be the game that he's got to win. That it's a must-win game. Right now, beating this team, losing to that team might not necessarily matter, but there's going to be a point in time where there's going to be some pressure on him. And can he do that? Can he handle that? I think his confidence obviously comes from his dad, so there's never going to be a time when he's not going to think that he can be great. Yeah. And because of that, I think that in its own right will carry him. I just don't know if there's that much at the quarterback position that he
I mean, who do the Browns have left on their schedule? Do they have some?
I know, like I said, they play the 49ers next week. Let's see.
That's a big game.
Yeah, that's a pretty. I mean, 49ers fighting for a playoff spot.
Right.
I want to say they play the Titans after that. Mm-hmm. Then I believe they have the.
So I mean, he's going to have some pressure. The Bears for sure.
I mean, I think it was pressure. Just even starting against the Raiders. I mean, Raiders aren't a very good team.
Starting is pressure,
but yeah, there's pressure there. I like I said, I think he still has some bad habits. He tends to hold the ball for a little bit long. He tends to backpedal instead of stepping up in the pocket, which sometimes that could be a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing as far as taking sacks. But I think if you look at his skill set as far as the things he does well, is like, he has elite ball placement. He has a pretty good arm. So I think, like I said, if he can clean up those little habits, which are going to take some time to clean up. That's not, and again, that takes, you got to play in the game and get that game film on yourself and analyze yourself. So if he can clean up those things, and again, yesterday, the running game was on point. I mean, they ran the ball all over the Raiders. And again, that's the thing with this Cleveland Browns team. They have an elite defensive line. I'm talking about elite. I'm talking about Miles Garrett may be the best defensive line. We're talking all time. I mean, he's on track to break the record of sacks this year. So, like I said, if you could control that ball and he can make timely throws, deliver it where it needs to be delivered, they can win some games, closing out the season.
Just from the defense.
Just from the defense. Yes. You just can't make mistakes. You can't throw a bunch of picks.
Right.
You can't have a bunch of turnovers, and you got to move the ball. Even if you're getting field goals, they could be like the old Ravens teams where, hey, you ain't got to make a touchdown every time. Yeah. Just don't put the defense in terrible positions.
Move the ball.
Right,
move the ball.
Even if you punt it and you flip the field, that can still serve the defense.
Right.
So you just can't put your defense in consistent bad positions.
Yeah, I don't think that they. I don't know if he is aware of that part of it.
He's definitely aware,
but okay. So he's definitely aware of it, but on the other side of it, there's a sense of greatness. You get that he gets that taste of greatness in this last game. So now
you just build on that.
Yes, can you build on that? But again, the problem with that is how frequently will he have to be out on the field because of the defense is not very good, and he's got to keep getting back out there.
Well, the defense is good. The defense.
Oh no, the
reverse it.
The line.
Yeah.
If the more that they're out there to have to be on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think that's gonna cause that could play a factor in it.
And I think that's probably what's been happening because they are unable to move the ball. They haven't really just offensively. They've just been inept. Yeah. I think, like I said, if they can just run the ball. If you can just run the ball, play action, and just give him easy throws to make, I think that'll make the world of difference. And like I said, this is one of them situations where that offense eat that clock up.
Yeah.
Even if you're driving, you take 5-6 minutes and you just get 3. Eat it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
keep that defense off the field.
I think, too, with him being, a fresh quarterback, just now starting his career in the NFL, I think that he's got to take it one game at a time, one play at a time.
Yeah.
Like you can't, look too far ahead or kind of 100%. Look back on when you make a mistake. He's just got to play in the moment and not let the game get in his head.
100%.
And to that, to you, Hollis, like that's that winning a game, having some good stats. And look, I'm not even looking at that. I'm going forward because I'm not going to get judged
stay in one place too long.
You're not going to get judged by that one game. You're going to get judged overall in how you play throughout the season, especially if you're the guy.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, if you keep in mind that you do have that good defense, like I said, and your offense has got to sort of like reverse engineer itself. Like I said, it's not always about making the big play. It's not always about taking chances. Pitch your defense in good spots. And like I said, they're going to have a fumble. They're going to have a sack. They're going to have some interceptions.
Yes.
They can, if you put them in a good spot, they'll pitch you in a good spot for you to succeed where you have that short field. So I think if you can keep that in mind, and I think if those offensive coordinators and everything keep that in mind, I really think they can probably win some games, to close out the season. Then the question becomes is that Like if he wins this game, let's say next week, or they're competitive, do you bring Dylan Gabriel back once he's done with concussion protocol, or do you go with Sanders?
I mean, that was going to be my question as well. I think let's hope the Browns are done browning for a while.
Browning.
and just kind of, use some common sense in this. I think that you have to leave Shedeur. If Shedeur continues to play like he did yesterday and he continues to take this team and win, you have to stick with him. I mean, you can't go back to a quarterback that wasn't winning as the games like Shedeur's capable of when he plays. And if he's winning games when he comes out of that concussion protocol, you got to keep going with the horse that got you there, right?
I think so.
But
Gabriel's not going to think so.
Well, no,
and he's getting some money, and he's going to have and he's going to probably have some incentives that's going to be starts or playtime, touchdowns, and all those kinds of things that adds to his contract.
Right.
He ain't going to want to sit.
Well, it's not up to him.
No, it isn't. But sometimes the money can dictate that. And I think what could happen is you could get into a situation where all of a sudden there is this huge clash inside of the locker room that
bothers the team chemistry.
That can bother because there's going to be a lineman who's going to think he should be the guy. As soon as he comes off of concussion protocol, he should be back in.
Myles Garrett, your star defensive player, I think he's already said who he thinks without saying it.
Right.
Yeah. So out of this game, we had some firing. So Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders, got fired. Who else? It's a bunch of coaches that got fired.
And there is a bunch. I don't necessarily want to go through the list unless Lisa.
No. I've got some. It's the most wonderful time of the year, right? It's when they start firing coaches in the NFL and in the collegiate level. The collegiate has been more of a carousel than the NFL. Yeah. You've had 4 or 5 really well-known schools
Brian Kelly,
Chip Kelly. You got, of course, James Franklin was a few weeks ago, but still, that was during the current year. Billy Napier at Florida.
Yeah.
So, the collegiate level has been, kind of crazier, but you have had head coach Brian Dable with the Giants. He was, relieved of his duties. And then Brian Callahan with the Titans. So that's already started.
Mm-hmm. All right. So had been fired for basically not winning at state. The question that I'm going to pose to both of you is when coaches don't win, is it always the coach's fault? Should we be thinking of firing the coach? Or because, again, you fire that coach, he goes somewhere else, gets another job. He may win or may not win, whatever the case may be. But it's just kind of like that carousel. But I don't know if it's just the head coach's fault.
I mean,
I get you take the blame. You have to take the blame. But is it?
I don't think in any situation it's like 100% one person's fault, but you may not just be in a position where that's the best fit for you, right? You may not have the personality for that. It's like a Brian Kelly at LSU. To me, I don't know why he would ever be a head coach again, because he just doesn't seem to have the head coach personality. He'll win for a little bit, but that personality is going to eventually wear you down. Same thing with Chip Kelly. Those personalities sort of wear you down. So I think
Can you define what those personalities are, or is it just something visible that you can see?
Again, I don't know these gentlemen, but I'm just saying from my observation, they just seems to be callous and not necessarily people persons, right? They are football guys. They know football. They're really good at their craft, but they have trouble connecting to people. So if you can't connect to players in a way that's on a human level and figure out a way to get the best out of players. Like, Nick Saban was a hard guy. He was a tough coach, but he seemed to relate to you on a human level, and he was able to get the best football player and person out of you. So I don't think if you're able to capture that, it's difficult to move, particularly, and you mentioned college football, particularly in college football, because now these guys, I don't got to stay here. I don't got to listen to you. And I may be making just as much or more than you as far as money is concerned. Yeah. So we're almost equal. So you can't treat these quote unquote kids like kids, right? And that's particularly true for the NFL. So it's like, I think, just to go back to your question, while it's always your fault as the coach, but sometimes it's just maybe a personality thing. Maybe it's just an environment thing. Maybe that environment's not giving you what you need to be successful as a coach, right?
Right. Yeah.
I think that's fair.
And to add to those are all valid points. And to add to that, it could just be the standards of the school. I mean, what's acceptable at Alabama is or what's not acceptable at Alabama will be acceptable at Marshall.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
It's kind of like right now when you look at them becoming bowl eligible, that's going to be a big deal for Huntington and the fans compared to Alabama if they're left out of the college football playoff. So I think sometimes, it's a case by case type
James
of
Franklin,
scenario.
right? At Penn
Penn State.
He was winning.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was
Yes.
winning.
Yes.
And he may go to Virginia Tech and do a fabulous job. But the standards there are going to be a little lower because of the state that the football program's in right now.
Well, let me
They're
ask
not
you
winning.
this. To that point, are there any good college football coaching jobs now? And I say that because what I'm saying is, though,
are there any good coaching jobs?
What are the good jobs? Because, for example, like if you were at Kentucky, you were the head football coach of Kentucky, you win 6 to maybe 9 games a year. If you were kind of in that range, you're good. We don't really have that much expectation for you. If you can kind of keep us in a bowl or keep us bowl eligible every year, we're good. Now you got the playoffs. So now if you're not inching toward the playoffs, gone. LSU, again, if you're not national champions, gone.
Right.
So it's not even Penn, right? It's not even good enough to get to the playoffs no more. So I was like, outside the money, like what are the good jobs anymore?
I don't know if per level, I don't know if the jobs necessarily are different because the expectations are all the same now. There was a time when I think that there were teams who just was going to have a winning record and they were okay with that.
Yeah.
That's gone. We don't want that.
Is it gone? I mean,
I
for
think
some
it's
schools.
gone.
I think it's gone.
I think it's
You
gone.
I think it's gone. I don't think any coach could survive right around 5-5, 6-6, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't
Because
think
now you got 12 opportunities to get into the playoffs. So it's like now I'm thinking like I want in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think I understand that want, but I also want to look at reality, which I'm thinking about teams like in our home state, like WVU and Marshall. Like that's just not a reality. Like we're not going to fire Rich Rod this year because we're not in the playoff picture.
Right.
And the same with, Gibby and Huntington. We're going to be happy with what he did because of what he came in to deal with.
Well, I mean long
losing
term.
a team.
Yeah.
Those
I'm with you.
situations are
because we've seen people happy, excited about it.
But the bigger schools don't go long term, is what you're saying, right?
I'll even say that.
I mean, they don't even give them a year.
Marshall and WVU, I think, are in great comfort level right now.
But are they? Because even if you look at Huff won a conference championship.
Right.
Sending player after player in the NFL, and he didn't get an extension.
Right.
So what I'm saying is like even a school like Marshall, where you had that success, like
I would like to know that whole story.
I'm with you, Hollis, and I was gonna make the point that the fan base is not okay with you being okay.
Every single year.
Yeah,
I don't think
that's
so.
gone.
Yeah,
and if you dare make a playoff and then next season not make it, the conversation now is about you going.
Yeah, the expectations just keep growing. The better you get, the more they want.
Because I think even with Rich Rod, I think they're going to give him a mulligan this year. We'll see next year. The year after that, okay. And I'm telling you, in about 3 years, the fan base is going to be like, okay, we need to be inching towards something.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, they're going to get impatient.
And we got to see it.
And we got to see it.
And if we don't see it, it starts, that mumbling starts again.
So bringing me back to my question, is there good jobs outside of you just maybe making it to a level, getting a big salary and possibly getting a big payout?
I think the way that I would see a good coach who, let's say, just had a winning record, who's turned a program around to at least a winning record. The moment that I get to 8-9 wins, I'm looking. I'm looking before you come to me. I think that's the reason why a lot of these coaches.
You're looking for the next job.
Yeah,
after
I'm
that.
looking for the next job because I think a lot of coaches are already in that mindset. You're not gonna. There's no reason to stay and win at a lower level.
Unless you have some type of connection.
Unless you have some kind of bias.
Whether you're an alumni or you played there or something like that.
I think your first thing that you want to do is go to the next level. Get to that next level.
Because, I mean, even if you look at, like, Lincoln Riley, right? He's the head coach at USC. He was at Oklahoma, had Heisman winners, were doing really good. Now he's at USC. And now they even starting to be like,
yeah, what's going on?
What's going on? We ain't doing much over here. It might be time to roll. It's like, dang, you don't get an opportunity.
And I don't even, and again, I don't even think, I don't think that the fan base understands that as soon as there's a feel of, we're losing belief in you, the AD, the president, all of them are like thinking about,
that's about money. I mean, they want to sell season tickets. They want the fans in the stands. And if you're not winning, people aren't going. I mean, that's just the way it is.
Will we ever see like a Joe Paterno, a Mac Brown, Don Neyland? Will we see those coaches because you got to remember, even Joe Paterno, right? He had like 9 losing seasons at Penn State, like in the beginning of all that. It was back in the day, different time. But will we see that coach who's going to stay at a school for 10, 15, be an institution?
Not like that.
Be like my Beamer down in Virginia Tech.
No.
Are those days done?
I think they may be.
I think they.
Unless a coach like we've got the situation right now in Morgantown, like he goes somewhere else and then he comes back to retire. I really feel like Rich Rod will probably retire from WVU.
I can see that.
I think so.
And those kind of situations, they may stay, but it's not going to be a legacy like you're talking about. Years. I don't think. I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
And I just hate that because it's like, again, it's just like the tradition of what we know of college sports, football, basketball. It's really gone. Like
it is gone.
It's done. Like we don't have the rivalry games no more. We're not going to have that coach who's just, to your point, Lisa, it's like an institution there. It's part of the university. You know, the Eddie Robinsons, the Beamers, the Paternos, and all those guys, the Nealons. It's like those days are just
and to prove that, you know, I'm not sure exactly how long Coach Pruitt was at Marshall, but you could have easily thought
15. But 15
he was there at least 15.
Okay, so and think about it. When's the last time anybody talked about, how great we were when Coach Pruitt was there? Like that conversation shouldn't be gone, but it seems gone because now we're here in this moment, and who's there now? Should he stay or should he go? I mean, it's constant moving on to staying or going. Hiring somebody or firing somebody.
We've had this conversation that the Marshall Thundering Herd team of the 90s under Bob Pruitt would not have existed today. I mean, there's no way he could have kept Pennington there, Moss there. Right. That team would not have gelled and stuck together for the amount of time they did to win a national championship. They would have been rated. Marshall's team would have been rated.
And and why can't you see that from the outside? Knowing that all this moving around opportunity is never going to build you a foundation of a true team.
And I think, like I said, man, I think it's bad for college sports in general. And this is basketball and football particularly. And I just think we have to figure out a way to, like, to Brian's point, to get guardrails on it where we can not only police and guardrail the players, but I think the coaches need guardrails too, right? Because you can't, like I said, it's like I can't even fathom, like Mississippi, the Ole Miss is in the mix to get to the playoffs, and they're talking about poaching the coach before the season is even over. Like, it's like
ugly,
like right now, like, what are you talking about? Yeah. How is that not tampering? Like, what are we doing?
It's
like you're having a run. There's no way I would, if I was the AD. Nah, bro. Either you leave now, like if you're gonna go. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. But on the other hand of that, I'm saying to like the bigger college sports administration, like we have to stop it. You can't poach my coach in the middle of my season.
Because what does that do to the kids?
Who's loyal to you?
But
that's been loyal to you.
They're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah,
So wherever he goes, they're going to go.
Yes.
So that not only do I lose my coach, I lose my team too.
It's going to be a repeat of what happened to Marshall in the Stovetop.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I'm sure this won't be the last time we'll have this discussion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get out of here, and we appreciate you listening.
Let's Talk with Carl Lee is presented by attorney Frank Walker and the all-new historic Coyer Diner. Come in on episodes, ask the crew questions, or suggest topics on our Facebook page. Search for Let's Talk with Carl Lee, and remember to like the page to become part of the conversation. Subscribe by searching Let's Talk with Carl Lee on your favorite podcast service, and tune in Thursday evenings at 7 or Sunday nights at 8 for Let's Talk with Carl Lee.
If you fall, dust it off and get back up on your feet. Anything could be a win, yup, even defeat. They say sugar bad for you, why is victory sweet? Couldn't play with big kids, I had to sit in the street and watch from a distance, but over time I grew. If I put in the work, in no time I'm due. Everything that I worked and prayed, I'm okay. If you ask me, how did I do it, I'm gon' say, you gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine, never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work. 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 You gotta work.